Again, I'm going to start this video by just making it overly clear. I do not support or even agree with the riots in any way, shape, or form. Now, if you missed the first video leading up to this one, I'll just do a brief rundown of what it was about. So in the first one I explained, I was about to do this post on my YouTube, talking about how they're criminals and they should all be stopped, showing a picture of what their protests, riots, look like, compared to the aftermath of what ours look like, and how they're not protesting properly. And then I was like, well, hey, they actually got everything they wanted. Whether or not I agree with it, it was effective. And we should take notes to figure out how to make our protests more effective, because our protests just simply are not. Take Virginia, for example. The numbers don't really matter, so if I'm wrong, don't even bother correcting me because the point's still the same. We had, 30,000 people show up at Virginia. All armed to the teeth. We showed up to the Capitol. What was the result? We still got the gun control, and you know how the governor's seen that? He'd look at that group of people and be like, well, some people spent more, some people spent less, but on average, I would assume you could probably go across the board and say each person spent about $200. Fuel, lodging, airfare, snacks, food, etc., etc., etc. So putting a $200 bill on each person, the state just brought in, $6 million? I don't know what their tax rates are there, but even at 1%, that's $60,000 in tax revenue? Not only has he now been encouraged to do more gun laws, we have effectively put gun control on ourselves. We pulled roughly $6 million out of the firearms market that could have went to rifles, magazines, ammunition, stuff like that. So he's enacting gun control on states that don't even matter to Virginia just by having that protest come there. So, like I said in the other video, we need to take notes, and I've taken notes and I've come to some conclusions. Now, what I mean by their protest was effective, we all know it's a riot. Number one, these are the goals as far as I've seen it. Get dude's name out there. Yeah, double check on that one. Fear of the BLM in general. I am seeing so much fear of the BLM, which is a terrorist organization. Here's the definition if you don't believe me. There's two major players in these riots, Antifa and BLM. Both of them have so much fear instilled into the general public, people are afraid to be like, I don't agree with them. Even though they're smashing things, they're stealing things. I literally seen them on a train car unloading flat screen TVs. Ridiculous. Recognition. If you never heard of the BLM before or dude's name, you've heard of them now. Unless you live in the Congo or the North or South Pole, you've heard of the Minnesota riots. Support. I got an email, yesterday? That Birch Bees is sending $100,000 to the BLM and Antifa to help bail out people that got arrested for rioting and get them a legal defense. And they're not the only people that are doing that. This is widespread. People are spending large amounts of money supporting them. Bring the state to their knees. Well, there's a triple check mark on that. They brought the whole freaking country to their knees. So why did their riot/protest work and ours do not? Why are ours a complete failure? We don't get anything accomplished. First off, location. This also goes into, does it affect you? We let them know ahead of time we were going to protest, where we were going to protest at, what time we were going to protest. They even made us a nice little box we could protest in. So the general person does not get affected by that. Not only that, we were all carrying firearms. So unless you were carrying a firearm, you basically weren't a part of the protest. So if you don't 100% support firearms, you weren't a part of that protest. And there's way more people on the fence or the middle of the road than way pro-gun, I'm going to carry around a 50 cal. And because we were in that little box, it didn't affect most people. Say we would have just been okay, we're going to meet on such and such street, and then we're going to end on such and such street. possibly cross over some interstates, which is one of the best tools I've seen the BLM use to shut down interstates, because even if I don't care about what's going on, let's pretend I never heard about dude getting killed. Let's pretend I never heard about any sort of incidences. They shut down interstates. That makes people who don't normally care, because now they can't travel. It's all over the news. This interstate shut down. There's headlines. Oh, this interstate shut down. Avoid this interstate. It's forcing people to care that wouldn't normally care. So say, for example, like I said, we just decide where we're going to hold our protest and we do an actively moving march. That would be far more effective than just standing at a Capitol. So the next point where they're killing us is a battle of attrition. We cannot maintain the ability to protest like that. The money's coming out of our pockets. We're getting no support. They're literally paying their rioters with flat screen TVs and Xbox Ones. They have all these major companies sending them money. They're killing us in the battle of attrition. That's another reason why their protests / riots are more effective than ours. Number 2, public perception. You cannot argue with me on this, because I know there's no way you have went through life without hearing at one point in time most cops were just kids bullied in school, so they get a badge and they get a gun to ensure it doesn't happen anymore. I spent some time looking at the anti-gun community, going through their videos, and that's how they perceive us. As cowards that have insecurity issues that are so large, they're manifesting themselves in a physical form. That's how we're perceived, as cowards with insecurity issues. And that's why another big reason why people won't get behind us. Who wants to get behind a coward? Because you know, if you get behind a coward, what's going to happen when things get real, they're going to throw you under the bus because they're a coward and they're going to be looking for an out. So when we strap on our rifles, we open carry at a protest, the message we're sending is we're all a bunch of cowards with insecurity issues that have manifested themselves in a physical form. And what's the point of even open carrying at a protest? You can't use your rifle. Let's say, and I said this in the other video, but I'm going to recap because I think it's important. What it says when I open carry is that I have the ability to escalate things quickly. Do you really want to go down that route? So, pretend we're at a Second Amendment rally. Everybody around me is carrying. The people on the other side of the fence, they all have heavy artillery too. For whatever reason, the guy right next to me gets shot. Yes, every fiber in my body would be swing my rifle around and return fire because kill or be killed. But I know, just firing one shot, I'm not endangering my own life. If I was just endangering my own life, that'd be fine. That's a risk I can accept. But let's say I take one shot, I throw down some covering fire or something like that. They're going to open up on the crowd. I will essentially be getting multiple people killed. Would I be able to live with myself after that? No, I would not. The only thing I can do is be like, holy crap, you just got shot, man. Do you need a band-aid or something? That's it. That's all I can do. If I fire even one round, I'm making an open season on the whole entire crowd. So what's the point of carrying a rifle? Let's say we protest on the interstate and we all have rifles. The cops aren't going to go there to tackle people because they have firearms. They're going to be forced to shoot at us. We're putting them in a situation where they have to escalate things to be able to negotiate with us. The next thing with the public perception with open carry jumps right into relatability. So if we're all open carrying, it's clear we are going after specifically Second Amendment stuff. Most people, like I said earlier, are on the fence or in the middle. They could swing one way or the other, but they really don't care. Now let's say we do the same protest and, yeah, if you want to conceal carry, by all means, do it. But nothing open, and some random college kid comes up to us like, hey, what are you guys out here for? And we're like, we're out here for civil rights, for freedom. They will jump behind us and support us. We'll get a snowball effect, the support will grow, we'll be able to push our message across. Open carrying, that takes away that option. Now, the same college student comes up and he's got his phone out like, hey, what are you guys supporting? The Second Amendment. Like, really, you think carrying that rifle into a place that's on the fence about the Second Amendment is going to convince anybody that you're in the right here or we should support you? And then they'll just try to make us look in a bad light. We cannot open carry at these rallies, protests, whatever you'd like to call them again. It's just bad. It undermines the whole thing we're trying to do. And that's the main goal here, is we're trying to get support. How did this domestic terrorist group get support from literally everyone? But we can't get support from anyone, and we're supporting the Constitution. So we need to change tactics. 1, we can't open carry anymore. It's undermining us. 2, we can't have it. We need to create more chaos. We can't be in a tight little box. We need to do an active march. Let things unfold the way they are. And if things keep escalating and getting worse, 3, it might be time to break some shit. Yeah, we shouldn't loot. We should not riot, but be more focused. Like in Virginia, we should have taken the Capitol. That would have got public attention. That would have been, we would have been able to get the news in there and been like, we are here for civil rights. That's why we are here. And then the argument, so like, do you think you really need an AR-15? And most people back themselves into the corner at that point, and they eventually have to try to prove a negative, which is impossible, so they're going to lose the argument, but we should immediately deflect and be like, no, it's not about if we should have an AR-15 or not. It's about, do I want the man or the government to be able to tell me what is and what is not right for me? I want the ability to make my own choices. I'm not affecting anyone else. That's why we're here. Civil rights. We had the right to make our own choices and pick our own destiny. That's why we're protesting. Anyway, that was just the takeaway I got from all of this. The takeaway I want you to get is, 1, we need to change our tactics because they're clearly not working. 2, we need to stop open carrying because that's clearly not working. 3, it may be time to break some shit because if we don't stop something soon, we're probably going to eventually hit a situation where you're going to have loved ones die. So we could break some federally insured stuff, have loved ones die, or simply give up and just avoid the situation altogether. All 3 of those are awful choices that I do not want to make. Unfortunately, no matter how you slice the pie, there's an awful choice to be made. Thank you for watching. Please share this video around because these type of videos is where I lose a bunch of subscribers and murder my channel. If you'd like to check out any of my other videos, click on the links up here. I'll have the first video right here if you'd like to get up to date on it. If you'd like to help support the channel, I got my Patreon. I also got affiliate links in the description down below for the camera I'm using and the sling. Even if you don't buy what the link is for, just clicking on that link and doing the Amazon shopping you were going to do anyway, I get a little kickback for it because you went there off of my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.